Okay, so this is going to be the alto sax, and it's pretty much the same as the tenor sax, you know, the big brother of the alto sax. But here I have my alto sax case, right? Depending on what kind you have, you can see right here, I have a tenor sax with a latch, right? The old school style, right? And that's still a classic. They still make them like that as well. But for something like this, right? Once in a while you see these cases, you put your thumbs in and you go, boom, right? And open it up. Okay. And you'll notice that the, you know, there's an upside and a downside, right? The upside usually has a logo, sometimes has the number and all that stuff, right? But before you open it up, you want to make sure that it's sitting correctly. Otherwise, you'll have a very unhappy instrument. Okay, so over here, I have my reed, which I want to place in my mouth right away. Okay, the flat side, not the fun curvy side. Okay, with the cool leopard print on that side. Not that side, right? You want to put the flat side down on your tongue. Oh. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to take this out because I need to talk to you, right? But at this, you know, during the entire setup process, you definitely want to keep it in your mouth. Okay. So I'm going to put it down right here because it's already nice and juicy for me to work with because I was playing it earlier. Okay. Now I open this up, and this chair can represent your bed. It could be a stool. It can even be the floor if you have to, but it's just so much easier to work with if you can just grab it instead of like reaching all the way down. Okay, so I'm going to open up the lid as so. First step, very important, okay? Put your neck strap on because you don't want to try to put this on while the instrument is set up. Okay, so first step, right, of course, the reed, right? Okay, and probably the second step would be the neck strap. Okay, now this is a good rule of thumb. First of all, if you have a neck strap, right, if it's a nice one like this, you can get your own, totally get your own if you'd like to, okay? You see this hook right here, and you see your, there's a little bone, okay, and this is called your sternum, right? You want it to hang maybe an inch or two past your sternum, okay? So the hook should be under your sternum. Not so far down that's your belly button, right, but you know, up here. Okay, if you don't know how to adjust this, practice on your backpack. Okay, you know, it's just one of these things where you pull this, right, and you pull it apart, right, and it gets shorter and shorter. If you want it to get longer and longer, then you pull it down like so, right? Okay, so definitely play with this thing and make sure you know how this works. You don't want to be holding an instrument and trying to adjust this, then it's kind of like not happy and your instrument's going, are you gonna play me yet, right? So you definitely want to have this adjusted, okay? Notice it goes under my collar for extra support and comfort, okay? All right, now this is actually pretty simple compared to the clarinet. This is going to be a very easy setup, okay? This is what you do. Okay, first thing, okay? You take your mouthpiece, okay? You take your mouthpiece. Okay, make sure that you have this assembled beforehand so you can just plop it on and play, okay? So mouthpiece, reed, because it's in your mouth. Okay, take the flat side, here's the flat side, not the round side, the flat side, and take it against the flat side. Okay, slap it against each other, right? And you see that little bit of black that's hanging out on top, right? That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Now this takes a little bit of coordination here. Okay, a lot of 7th graders every year, they struggle with this part. Okay, see how I'm holding it still like so? I'm gonna pick up the ligature, reed, mouthpiece, ligature, and I'm going to plop it down like so with the screws on the right hand side. Okay, notice I'm still holding it still. How much do you put it down? Okay, well, see this knuckle right here? There should be some knuckle. As you play more and more and gain experience, you'll know exactly where you like it, right? Where the best sound is for your mouth. Okay, but you know, if it's always good, a rule of thumb to have this nice and loose like so, right? So it gives you a little bit of freedom. If yours happens to be completely tightened, right, you definitely want to make sure that this is nice and loose before you put it on. Okay, now don't wreck your reed. Okay, these things are pretty expensive. Okay, now the middle lines up with the middle of the ligature. And you start screwing in. I always get asked by 7th graders, how tight do I want it? You want it tight enough to not move around when you play. Okay, so pretty tight. Okay, but definitely not so tight that you're like, right, and it cracks, right? I've had that happen so many times over the years, okay? So you got this piece done, okay? Now, the next thing you want to do is pick up the neck of the instrument. Do not put pressure downwards like this. Do not, 90% of the time, the repair cost on a sax is fixing this thing. That's why I try to do it myself, but don't try to do it yourself. Just don't cause that problem in the first place. Okay, this is cork. So if you find it hard to put on, you can simply pick up your cork grease, which I gave all of you, okay, and just put a little bit of on, right? Maybe once every 2 weeks is perfectly fine. You just need a little bit, right? Just to sort of lube up the situation, okay? And you put it on, okay? How much do you put it on? Well, we'll talk about that later, okay? It has to do with tuning. Okay, now, you put this off to the side, just like that. You pick this up. Look how my hand is going in, right? Here's the bell of the instrument. Here's the body, and here's the bell. I pick it up like so. See that? That's the strongest part of the instrument, okay? And I'm going to pick this up, find the ring. Oh God, don't, hook on to anything else but the ring. Here's the ring right here, okay? And put it down like so, okay? Once again, hook, ring, boom, okay? It should hang pretty comfortably. Okay, you can close your legs and sort of support it while you put this on, okay? Now, coming down this way only requires a little bit of pressure. Don't clock yourself across the face or across the eye. You'd be very unhappy that way. Okay, now, how do you sit? Okay, notice that I am automatically scooching my butt towards the right-hand side of the the chair, right? Okay, it's very important that you do this, otherwise you will cause damage to your instrument. It'll go clunk, clunk, clunk. So you sit on the right-hand side, protect it with your butt, with your hip, okay? Now, it's a good time right now to check the length of your neck strap, okay? It should look like it's gonna give you a kiss. It should not look like, let's see if I can do this here, like it's gonna give you a hickey or, suck your blood like a vampire, right? This is too low, okay? If it's too high, it looks like it's going to kiss you on the forehead, okay? All right, so this is too high, right? Obviously, so, right, it doesn't work, okay? So scooch this down so that you can sit with your own, under your own weight, right? Do not use the back of your chair. Make sure you're protecting the instrument from the side, the right-hand side of the chair, okay? And the saxophone is generally played on the right hip, right? Okay, now, if you scooch this way, right, you can actually see that my mouthpiece is not exactly flush with the rest of the instrument, right? Because it's slanted like this, I want to turn the entire mouthpiece this way. You see what I'm talking about? Because my mouth doesn't go like this, right? Okay, it wants to do this. All right, now, some of these get looser and looser over the years, right? So there's this little nut right here. There's a wing nut that you tighten when you are happy, okay? And you could try out by playing a few notes. Okay, now in Zoom space, this is going to be very tricky, right? Because this is such a low-hanging instrument like the tenor sax or the clarinet, right? You need to look like that. Do you see how I can see my own fingers, 3 fingers in my pinky, 3 fingers in my pinky, right? I need that from you so that I can see if you're playing the wrong notes and the wrong fingerings. Okay, so that's the way you should look like in Zoom space. Okay, so when you're ready to play, right thumb, okay? And over here, you can see that my left hand is on top. My left hand's always on top, right? And all these pearl-colored keys, right? Don't touch the one that's little, right? That one is later on, right? And I'll show you how to use that. Okay, but it's the first one, the third one, and the fourth one on these 3 fingers, okay? Where does your left hand go? Your thumb stays on this platform until it uses the octave key. Okay, so this is your left hand, right? Now, your right hand, pretty obvious, right? 3 circles, 3 fingers, boom. Okay, and your pinky just sort of hangs out until we need them. Okay, how do you put it away? Okay, you open this back up. Okay, you do this. You take you loosen this, right? Okay, this wing nut on the side, and you wiggle this and sort of, okay, bring it out, okay, because there will be some condensation, okay? All right, and then, so if you have a cleaning kit, right, I'll show you how to use that at a later time, right? You're gonna put this down for now, don't forget about it. unhook yourself, go in reverse order, remember your right hand, put it in the bell, and swing it around. You can support it with your left hand, and boom. Just one swift motion, okay, boom, okay? All right, take this off, right? Okay, and you can put this away. Now, with this, okay, don't touch the octave key, okay? All right, take this, put it back in its place, okay? It'll be nice and snug, okay? And very important, so your reed doesn't get all green, okay? Loosen it, but don't loosen it so much that it falls apart, right? You can never do that, okay? So loosen it, okay? And you can grab the reed, put the mouthpiece back in the hole, put the reed back in its case, okay? And it's your choice. You can keep it on your desk, or you can simply just plop it in there, right? Okay, and close the case, okay? And snap. This case snaps when I press this in. Okay, and once again, that's the way I should look when I'm in my sectionals, right, with Woo. Okay, I can see both hands, right? I could see that, right? Okay, I could see sort of most of my face, right? Okay, and I'm not using the back of my chair. Very important. All right, guys,